The 1967 Ford Mustang Shelby G.T.500CR convertible by Classic Recreations. The late 1960s Shelby G.T.500 was one of the most desirable cars available in its era and has now become one of the rarest Mustangs. The rarest G.T.500 of them all is a 1967 convertible model, due to the fact that there was only one example ever made. This example went straight to Carroll Shelby himself and no other examples ever existed. Well, the folks over at Classic Recreations, who are known for their classic Ford Mustang projects, are now making it possible for you to own a drop-top 1967 GT500 at a fraction of the price that Shelby's model would fetch. Granted, this model is no true GT500, but it'll certainly turn heads, especially once you lay into it and let its engine do the talking. There are two models of this GT500 available, the Tamer 545 model and the Wild 900S model. So what does this recreation of the single most rare Shelby Mustang GT500 have to offer you, and is it a fair bargain? Click past the jump to read our full review and see what's in store with this recreated GT500. Exterior. The GT500CR convertible actually started its life as a regular old 1967 or 1968 Mustang. Classic Recreations then completely sanded the body down to bare metal, using a media blaster. They then replaced any non-repairable body components with new ones. After all of that was done and the body was in top shape, they draped a thick coat of paint, which included a set of racing stripes. The body boasts all the authentic fiberglass that makes up the GT500, including the front lip, ground effects, and brake cooling ducts. Up front, there are the two inner headlights that are indicative of the GT500. You also get the lower striping found on the 1967 GT500. On the rear of the GT500, there is a set of sequential Shelby taillights. You also get a set of sequential taillights on the back. Adding to its authenticity, this classic rod also boasts a set of GT500 emblems and a Shelby Lemons Racing gas cap. There are 5 varying custom color options, which include gray, black, red, white, blue, white, black, gray, and yellow, white. On the Tamer 545 model, you get a set of two 17x 8-inch Shelby 427 wheels up front and the same brand wheels on the rear, but they are size 17 by 9.5 inches. On the 900S model, you get a little bit more meat, as it features the same 17x 8 inches rims on the front, but massive 17x 11-inch meat hooks on the rear of the Stang. Overall, the exterior is an excellent representation of the 67 Shelby GT500. It is perfectly restored in an impeccable manner. Interior. Inside the Classic Recreations GT500, you get a set of high-back Shelby signature seats, wrapped in vinyl. For an extra $1,000, you can opt for leather interior. The seats and center console boast embroidered signatures from Carroll Shelby himself. Securing you and your passenger in the seat is a set of 5-point camlock seatbelts. Directly in front of you is a set of Shelby gauges, which feature a 160 mph speedometer on the base 545 model and 200 mph in the 900S. Though a speedometer is typically not an indicator of how fast a car is, the one on the 900S is certainly a tip-off. The door panels and trim are all legit and from a 1967 Mustang. In addition to the authentic door panels, you will get a set of GT500CR floor mats and a true GT500CR console. To help you pilot this performance machine, Classic Recreations also installed a wood-grain aluminum steering wheel. For entertainment, Classic Recreations installed a Pioneer CD player with a custom-built subwoofer box and an 8-inch kicker sub. On top of the subwoofer, Classic Recreations rounds out your car's audio system with several coaxial speakers. For an extra $1,000 you can add in a flip-out screen DVD player for the kids, and for an added $499, you can opt for a GPS tracking system. For folks in the European segment, you can get a right-hand drive model for an extra $12,500. Engine and drivetrain. Yes, this GT500CR mock-up is a nice-looking ride, but what really matters is what's under the hood. On the 545 model, you will get a 427 cubic inch engine that cranks out an impressive 545 horsepower. This engine features a mass flow fuel injection system and a concept on pulley system. Connected to the engine are two BBK long tube ceramic coated headers, which bolt up to 2.5-inch true dual exhaust that exits via two magnaflow bank. The Mustang G.T.500 900S is a different breed altogether, as its 427 cubic inch V8 engine pumps out a hefty 770 horsepower. The main components of the engine are carryovers from the 545 horsepower model, but Classic Recreation installed an F1R Procharger capable of 17 psi. The exhaust system is exactly identical to the 545 models. Tossing power back to the Posey traction 9-inch rear end with 3 to 70 gears is a Tremec manual transmission. As you can tell, this build is not your typical Ford GT500 replica, especially when considering the 770 horsepower mark. Suspension and braking. The 545 model boasts four-wheel disc brakes with bare 13 by 1.1 inch discs on the front and 12 by 0.81 inch discs on the rear. The rotors are zinc-washed to lower their heat absorption, as well as slotted and cross-drilled. On each front corner of this '67 Stang GT500 is a 245/40 R17Z rated tire and 275/40 R17 tires on the rear. The 900S model boasts a set of 245/40 ZR17 tires on the front and a set of 315/35 ZR17 tires. The front and rear suspensions are both something that you would never see on a 1967 Mustang GT.500CR, as it boasts all-around coilover suspension. In addition, Classic Recreations installed front and rear sway bars to limit body movement in the corners. Pricing. A car of this magnitude is never expected to come cheap, but surprisingly, this car is relatively affordable. The 545 horsepower Shelby Mustang GT.500CR 545 starts out at $149,000 and the 770 horsepower Shelby 900S has a base price of $199,000. Those prices are not attainable for the average Joe, but when considering the rarity of the car and the enormous power that this GT.500CRs pump out, they are well worth the money. Conclusion. If you have the extra cash lying around, we definitely advise buying this car now. Not only will it get tons of looks from Mustang enthusiasts that do not expect to see a convertible GT.500CR, but its overall power, in either model, is enough to make just about anyone fall in love with it. To boot, you are also getting a classic muscle car that can actually handle turns with little effort. Love it. Awesome concept of building the rarest GT500. Very well put together. 545 horsepower and 770 horsepower are simply awesome. Leave it. Price is a tick too high, but still worth it. Body kit looks sloppy in some areas. No performance specs given.
If you liked this video, please share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.